Entering a retail shop lease is a significant investment decision. We have identified some of the important issues you need to consider when negotiating a lease. Below are some practical tips to avoid you falling into the common pitfalls. Lease term and option to renew. You need to carefully check the length of your lease and whether you have any rights to renew at the end of the initial lease term. This is important because you want the term to be suitable for your business. For a business that is just starting out, a short term might be desirable. On the other hand, you might want a longer term for security if your business is established. Disclosure requirements. The Retail Shop Leases Act of 1994, the Act, requires the landlord to give you a draft lease and disclosure statement at least 7 days prior to signing the lease. You are entitled to terminate the contract within the first 6 months of the lease if such documents are not disclosed to you. You must also provide a disclosure statement to the landlord before entering into the lease. Your lawyer will need to sign the legal advice certificate, and your accountant will sign the financial advice certificate. Rent review. The lease will provide you with information regarding the frequency and method of the rent review. The Act prohibits the rent to be reviewed more than once per year. You must make sure you can afford the proposed rent increases over the term of your lease. Tenant Mix and Competition. You must consider the mix of the tenants when leasing in a shopping centre or shopping precinct. If necessary, you might want to negotiate an exclusivity of trade clause into your lease. Costs and outgoings. Costs such as operating expenses, insurance, fit-out and marketing fund can be substantial and need to be taken into consideration when entering the lease. Some costs are ongoing and may increase during the term. It is always a good idea to know them and plan in advance. Permitted use. You need to ensure that the permitted use is suitable for your current business and is broad enough to cover any future business activities you contemplate. The permitted use can also limit your opportunities to assign the lease to a third party later on. Assignment and subleasing. The ability to sign and sublet your lease gives you the flexibility when you decide to sell your business in the future. Generally, a landlord's prior consent is required, therefore you might want to ensure that such consent cannot be unreasonably withheld.